All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm back. And tonight we're just doing a just chatting stream. Going to be talking about, at least I'm going to be talking about my top games of 2025, my top 25, not top 25, sorry, top 10. And then also want to get into what I'm most excited for in terms of RPG games coming up this year, because I mostly play RPGs here on the channel anyway. So we'll talk that. There's some other stuff I want to go into tonight as well too. So we're gonna spend a good amount of time on this, and I want you guys to come through and share yours as well too, as far as like what's your top games of 2025 and what games are you looking forward to for 2026 this year. All right, let's get this shared out real quick though, as far as stream goes. So bear with me real quick. Okay. All right. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to fix that. Hold on. I'm going to put that on loop. There we go. Sorry, new background. Okay, there we go. All right. And I think we're good. Move this over here. Okay. Cool, cool. Okay. And yeah, we're good there. All right. Now, I got to pull this over real quick, which is my notepad here. Okay. Oh, let me fix this. Hold up. This up a bit more. And I'll probably just have to be like this. There we go. All right, don't mind the numbers on the left side, just how the notepad plus is, but hey, Potato Queen, welcome in. Okay, so I'm gonna make a list of games I've either beaten in 2025 or played a lot of, maybe not fully beaten yet, but play a lot of and have a good idea what I feel about them and think about them. Definitely got to put Elden Ring, Night Rain up here. Elden Ring, Night Rain, yeah. Let's see, Hollow Knight, Silksong. Trying to think, what else did I play and beat this year in some capacity, or play a lot of? I know I play a lot of Arc Raiders. I'm still playing that when I can. Just not a lot lately. What's another one? I want to say Kazan. I still haven't beaten that yet, but still a game I really enjoy. Need to go back to. Argue Where Winds Meet. I played to some degree. Streamed it like at least twice, but definitely digging it for what it is. Liking it for what it is. Let's see. What else? What else is up here that I should mention? Silent Hill F. Whoops. Oh, you know what? Why am I not? Hold on. I know why. Let me redo this. I meant to have this be all caps so you guys can see it easier. We had a lot of good games in 2025. There was like too many, I feel like. And I couldn't get to them all. Okay. What's the next that let me see here. I'm gonna have to go through my live stream stuff here to find some stuff that um to check out. Dispatch. Can't forget Dispatch. That was such a great game. Very good writing. Let's see, what else? What else? Outer Worlds 2. Yeah, let's put that up there. I also want to talk about like some games I was very disappointed in. I don't think I have a top 5 or even a top 10 disappointing games, but there's at least a few I want to talk about that I played them, I beat them, or played them just on some level, just disappoint them in some way where they could have been a lot better. Where else am I at on this? Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. I guess I should put that up there because I did play and beat it. Borderlands 4 I haven't played enough of, I don't think. But I'll put both up there just in case. I'll probably just knock them off. Delta. Let's see. What else? What else? Dying Light the Beast only played, what, once? So I'm not going to count that. Borderlands 4 at least played, I think, twice on stream. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. That I did play, I think, at least 4 times. So yeah, Wu Chang. Fixing to say Silksong better be on there? Nah. What if it wasn't? No, I'm kidding. All right. Death Stranding 2. Man, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 already on here on this list. Of course, Expedition 33. Yeah. I almost put Claire Expedition for some reason. All right. Doom, The Dark Ages. Now, some of these games are going to be games I'm going to talk about later as being like, I was disappointed or just wasn't, I guess this didn't hit for me or just didn't grab me, like some of these other ones did. So we'll talk about that later. What else? I'm not going to include DLCs. Split Fiction. Yeah, did play that this year and beat it. So I'll add that in there too. Monster Hunter Wilds. Man. So I love Claire. My friend watched me play through it and all that. Silksong just captured me so much more, which is fair. That and I feel like Silksong has more replayability for me. Okay. Even though they just added like free content to Claire Obscure on top of the like already big in-game content stuff they already put in there. No, I'm just messing. I'm just messing. All right, what else we got? Avowed. And by the way, I'm only going to include games that came out this year and I played this year. So, yeah, I know. I'm just teasing you. Oh, okay. Very few cutscenes, and you can just go a direction. That's understandable. That's understandable. I think that's gonna be it though, guys, as far as my list here. A Avowed I'm gonna put on there just because it's gonna be like a game that I'm honestly disappointed in that one. But yeah. So dang, that's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 games on my list, and I gotta remove 7 of them. That might be a little bit challenging, might not be. I'm double checking though, but I don't think there's any more really that because I haven't really played enough of Soul Leveling, that game, and there's other games I didn't even get a chance to get to this year yet, or I mean last year, sorry, that came out 2025. That whether I got them for free or otherwise, because I still got Ghost of Yote. I missed out on playing initially. There's some other ones too, like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is not on here because I didn't get a chance to play that. Hades 2 is on here because I played a fair amount of the early access version, but then when it fully launched, I played like a little bit of it to start, but I didn't really dive into it. So if you're worried about certain games like that, it's just I haven't either gotten to them yet, or I played very little to where I can't really put them on here. I'm trying to think what else is missing that came out this 2025. For those who are into blueprints, just I didn't get to. I'm not a person that's like into puzzly. Did I say puzzly? Why did I say puzzly? Puzzle focused or puzzle heavy video games. So in Blueprints is like a roguelike puzzle focused video game, and it's not a bad game by any means. It's just not for me. I do like puzzles in my video games. It's like an extra thing to do or whatever, or it's like part of other mechanics in the game. So you don't see that on here for that reason. I'm trying to think. And there's some other ones too. But let's get to removing or slash like maybe placing some of these games in like my disappointing games of the year type of list, which will be a whole separate thing anyway. We'll get to later. I think right at the bat though, I got a couple here at least. So this is gonna be my top 10 though. Let's get that out of the way, right? And 10. Why did I do that? There we go. Okay. There we go. Disappointing 2025 games. Now, I'm gonna put a out on here. I don't know. I'm gonna go into this later as to why. All right. But Avowed's gonna be on here. So at least takes off that one. Funny enough, Monster Hunter Wilds is gonna be on here too. Oof. Dune the Dark Ages. That's another one that was disappointing to me after doing a full playthrough and playing through it, and it was fun, don't get me wrong. But yeah. Let's see, what else? I need to get rid of 4 more, right? This doesn't fall on the disappointing list, but I just don't think it's in my top 10, even though I love Metal Gear. I do. It was just a 1-to-1 remake, though, and it was very fun. It was good. I had a good time with it overall, but it also suffered from technical problems. Actually, you know what? No, I am going to put my disappointed list because of the technical problems. And we'll get that later. So 3 more. Man, this is tough. This is actually getting more tougher right now. Because I got to pick 3 more to make it even 10, right? And I don't necessarily want to put this in disappointing or anything like that. It's not a disappointing game by any means. I don't think it's in my top 10, though, even though it's fantastic. And I do recommend you guys play this. We're going to take Split Fiction off the list here. I love the game, everything like that. It's a great co-op game. In terms of like a co-op adventure, like just a 2-player co-op, like 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. But yeah, I'm going to take it off. And then, I must say Borderlands 4. All right, at least 1 left to take off. I don't know. I'm gonna move this over actually too. I'm hovering around Outer Worlds 2 because I did have a good time with it, but it was disappointing, partially due to tech issues that I have the game, partially. But also there's some weird game design choices as well too. So, thinking of maybe putting that in my disappointed list. Because everything else, for the most part, I had a good time with. Silksong, I had issues with, and I'm disappointed in some things with it, but it doesn't. I don't know. I think Silksong for me still does a lot for me in a sense, like where it's a really good game, and it does have frustrating things about it, but it's not that bad. Yeah, let me put Outer Worlds 2 on my disappointed list. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So I'll get into why these are my disappointing games 2025 later. Like all the reasons why and like that. Because we're gonna focus on my top 10 first here. So now I got it. These are the top 10 games that either I played a lot of or maybe not beat or played enough of. And either I didn't beat, but still got to go back to and beat, or did beat and really had a good time. So it's a matter of trying to figure out where to place them. And I'll actually move this down a bit just so we can focus on the top 10. So, what is number 10 though? Honestly, it's probably going to be Where Winds Meet. This is such an anticipated game for me that like it's free to play. It's a high budget, high polished overall quality game. It still has some bugs and glitches here, but there are some positive things about it. It's really good. And I've streamed it at least a couple times. And it's a lot of fun. The single player content, the way the wuxia style is, in there, executed in the game in terms of martial arts, game mechanics like that. And there's so much to do. There's so much to do. I mean, of course, kind of have to have a lot to do with it being a free to play game. And it does have an online co-op feature as well too, or mode you can do. But it's primarily a single player game, I feel like, in terms of like actually, getting story content done. And you do a lot of like the activities in the game solo anyway. So, and you can become whatever you want in that game in terms of like a job type system, things like that. If you want to stay like being a wanderer, if you want to become a fisherman, merchant, etc. Like there's stuff you can do. There are some NPCs which are they do use AIs like that and have these AI responses, and you kind of mess with them, or maybe I guess some people like sort of exploit them to a degree as far as like getting certain quests done, I guess. But there's that. But if you're just there to play the game, have a good time, and they're dropping new content later this month, I believe, as well too as part of the roadmap to get players back into it as well as get new players into it and just continue, having the players already been playing it, have something new for them to do, basically. So it is really cool, really cool. Let's look at trailers here. Like, just look at the visuals here from this. The way the aesthetic is, very well done, very inspired, a bit of Souls-likes to a degree. Like, it's definitely takes inspiration from Souls-like games, I think. A little bit of Ghost of Tsushima inspiration here as well too. And it's an overworld RPG, and they're adding a new region as part of, I think, the new update that's coming. So like, I think it currently has like what, 2 big regions you can go through and play. So we got that, plenty to do, and overall very polished game. They've made updates to it to fix some of the issues and bugs. And this is a game, funny enough, that has these geese or goose that will just straight up attack you. Like they're either just as bad, if not worse, than Pokemon. I've had some funny moments already with that stuff happening. So, and I think currently they got a thing going on where if you like sending clips of like goose attacking you or something like that, they want to see them. So that's pretty cool. In how the boss fights are fun too. You got these world boss fights, or world bosses, I should say, that are tougher. They're like side optional bosses from the main story that are tougher than the main story bosses from what I've experienced so far in the game. But they're so cool. Like once you get to them and be able to take them on, things like that, you can do different builds. They got a lot of different weapons here to learn and utilize, and you can do different builds for each weapon. So a very well, I think, mostly well balanced, well done, free to play, mind you, but AAA quality type style RPG that's going to keep getting content, and I want to keep playing it. Just haven't had time. Yeah, but this is definitely number 10 on my list for my top 10 of 2025 games. Okay, number 9. Number 9. What is going to take that spot? That's a tough one for me because I'm stuck between Silent Hill F and then Night Rain. And that's partially because I think I enjoy Arc Raiders a bit more in terms of like an online experience or multiplayer experience. But then again, I don't know. Those are about the same too, actually. Yeah, Elden Ring, Night Rain. I'll put that as number 9. It is a very fun game. Spin-off to the traditional Souls style that From Software is known for. But very cool stuff. Let me actually got some gameplay I can pull up. Hold on. So really cool here what you can do with this game as far as the different Nightfarers you can play as the Raider here. This is like some off-stream gameplay I recorded because at one point I was trying to figure out if I was going to do a essentially guides to help out with this thing, get around to it. Unfortunately, I wanted to do some guides for each Nightfare, just didn't have the time, and other stuff just kept on coming out. Like it was just nuts for 2025. So this game definitely had me concerned at first as far as like if it's actually gonna be good or not. Played the network test and had a right time, but was feeling like I was needing more from it, wanting more, and was only scratching the surface of it. Luckily, the full game definitely had a good amount of content, but it definitely needed to get some updates for long, which I'm glad they added the like Everdark event stuff, and then they start rotating those out as far as these Everdark bosses. So you had like your regular normal bosses and Everdark versions of those bosses. They came out with those, and those like essentially like a super boss version. And then they came out with a free update where it added I think a nightmare mode or something like that, or like a even more difficult type mode you can do. The only issue with that though is it doesn't really offer that much better rewards. I think they try to put in there to entice people, like you get new like gear that's supposed to have like a extra buff or new buffs on it, but then like a negative, like one con or negative. And from what I've seen and even read about, half to a lot of them are not really great. So it's like the negative is just not worth it. Even if you get like 2 or 3 pros on it. So that's unfortunate there. And then recently they came out with the DLC where they had 2 Nightfarers and then a new map, some more bosses as well too, which was nice. I actually haven't had time to check that out yet, but I want to at some point. So we'll see about that in the near future or just in the future in general. There's a lot coming out in 2026 already. We got Code Vein 2 about to drop here soon, Neo 3 like a week or so later, and then Resident Evil Requiem, this new horror game, in late February. So it's already kicking off strong here in 2026. But I would still recommend Elden Ring Night Rain. It's one of my favorite games of this year, and I hope they continue to update it. Not just for free updates, but heck, do some more paid DLC. The community will get it. This is a game that I think needs to have continuous updates. I know From Software doesn't want to treat it like a live service, but I think they may have to if they want this game to have like more longevity. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they listen to the community on that and continue to at least give some free updates and maybe some new event stuff to do. Add some new bosses in there, to make it more interesting and fun. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's what I got for you on Elden Ring Night Rain, and hopefully you picked it up recently when it was on sale on Steam. I would definitely give it on sale. Or there's also the site loaded.com, which I am partnered with, and you can check out the link for that in the description. Any of these games pretty much. Because usually, especially if you're trying to get some PC, go to loaded.com and get them cheaper there. Okay, next up. I'm gonna say Arc Raiders. We'll keep the multiplayer stuff kind of together, which is funny. I ended up doing that in a way. Whoops. So yeah, Arc Raiders is my number 8, and that is a surprisingly fun, sort of looter shooter, but also extraction shooter at the same time. And I'm not someone who has really gotten into extraction shooters or super into them. This is the first one. I think it's a well-made game, and I think it's doing so well because it is a extraction shooter that's really made for casual players. Like solos is honestly the best experience in that game overall. And I think recently the devs confirmed that when it comes to matchmaking, they either implemented or had already implemented an aggressive matchmaking type of thing, where basically if you are a player who likes to be aggressive by essentially doing PvP a lot, then you'll be matched with other people that like to do the same thing. Me, I like playing solos and just trying to get my objectives done and try to help other solo players. I don't really do PvP or engage in that unless I am attacked first and things like that. So, and I haven't even played, I think, squads in the full game. I did in the beta. There was like a little Sword Slam thing they had a few weeks before the game came out, and I tried it initially that, and I wasn't exactly sold on it right away, but then I think I was watching like Code Carnage, and he kept playing it and playing it, and he essentially sold me on the game. So I'm having fun with it. I still want to keep playing it. I know they recently had their winter event that's about to end, Cold Snap. and they got a roadmap as far as like making the game better, adding more content. It's a slow pace though of what they're doing as far as trying to make the game better, but it is a fun time for sure. So one thing, I would not sleep on this game. Get it on sale too, you know, and it's crossplay. It's crossplay, so that's another bonus. I wish Elden Ring Night Rain was crossplay. That would help it out so much. And I think that's why it's not higher on my list, because this is not crossplay. Where Winds Meet is crossplay, at least, because that's on PC and PS5. And Elden Ring Night Rain is not, though, unfortunately. But yeah. But Arc Raiders, a really, really fun time. And I think another thing, too, that keeps me coming back to it, even though, like, some people have probably fallen off for this and that. Almost every round or match I have, almost every single one is different in some way, or like a new experience or something like that. So that's very cool and sometimes hard to do in a game like this, or just in any other game. All right. Next up, I'm going to say Silent Hill F. This game is so freaking good. It does have some technical issues I did deal with, though. This is made on Unreal Engine 5, but it's made by a different dev team than Blooper team who did Silent Hill 2 Remake, which came out last year. Sorry, 2024. Forgot it's 2026. My mind's still in 2025 brain. But yeah. So Silent Hill F, let's pull it up here. Trying to find a good spot here. Okay, here we go. So this is the infamous like scene. I think they didn't use a promotion as trying to get this game sold even more. This is like one of the creatures you take on. It's like kind of like a mannequin type thing. Looks creepy as hell. This is very early game. This essentially is when you first, get this your melee weapon, the pipe here. This girl is strong, all right, but the combat is so good in this game. I would say better than Silent Hill 2 Remake combat. There is a dodge mechanic, and it's somewhat a bit. Some people argue it's kind of a bit like Souls-like-ish in that sense, with the whole dodge mechanic and how hard you can hit sometimes, things like that. But that's about it, I would say. And you do get stronger through upgrades and upgrading your weapons and having these different. They're essentially like charms, I guess you can say. I know there's a different word for it. There's also a sanity meter here that is pretty cool that they added in here as a mechanic. It ended up not being that bad for me on the first playthrough. I played it on hard mode as first playthrough. I don't recommend doing that, mainly because towards the late game, Silent Hill F, that's when it became really frustrating and stressful for me, as far as like they kept throwing enemies at me, or they'll keep throwing these like same or similar enemies at you. And it's like and so it feels like kind of almost like waves and waves. Cause you're like, this one area, you fight them off, and then you go to the next area, then you got to fight some more, and then it just keeps going. So I think the late game, towards like right before the actual final first ending, needs to be structured better. I don't think it ever will be, but we'll see. There are some cool counters you can do in this game too. I didn't do too many of that. Mostly like dodge, and there is a stamina system too. You got to be mindful of. You do have stamina in here. You have focus. You can hold down focus to try and do a heavier attack. The puzzles in here are pretty cool too. I like the puzzles. Let's actually talk about that. Let me see if I can find a part here. The puzzles are really cool. I like how they make you think. And this one, like, it was the first major puzzle I think I had encountered, and was trying to figure it out, trying to place these in the right spot, things like that. I think I eventually got it. The yeah, I know I eventually get it here and essentially solve it. There's some different ones too. You just gotta pay attention. Some of them are like ones where I was overthinking quite a bit when it was really just simple. So I had to keep myself like simple answer, simple answer. Sometimes that is true for puzzle solutions in video games. It's honestly the simplest thing, but sometimes it's not always like that. But the puzzles overall were not bad. They're actually pretty good. The boss fights are pretty good too. My favorite one, well, actually, not even my favorite one, probably just the first one. Let me get to it real quick. Hmm. Weird. I'm trying to find the boss fight. No, wasn't this. Wasn't this. I'm trying to think if it was this first live stream I did or if it was a different one. Oh no, I think it was this one. Yeah, here it is. Okay. This is where it really kind of felt somewhat Souls-like in a way. The boss fights here. And let me get out of this. Freaking menus. The boss fights, the way they're structured, way designed is really good overall, in my opinion. Really enjoyed this. Don't see a health bar or anything like that, but really like this kind of disgusting, grotesque, horrifying intent. How it's supposed to be like the bosses look intimidating, feel intimidating, but honestly, once you figure them out, you are going to be fine. I like that they have like these movement patterns, these attack patterns you got to learn from and maneuver around, dodge at the right time, things like that. So really enjoyed the boss fights in here. Way better than Silent Hill 2 remake. I think I played Silent Hill 3 years ago back in the day. I don't remember if that had boss fights or how those boss fights were. But this one, Silent Hill F, more action oriented, but also still very scary and horrifying, and the stuff you have to do. Plus, there's multiple endings as well. I only got the first ending, and it's intended to be that way, where you get the initial ending, and then you got to beat it, I think, like 4 more times, and do certain conditions to get each of those endings, so you get the full story of what's really going on. So I really enjoy it. I want to come back to it in the future and get those endings, and oof, just command grab, hug, and yeah, just kissing, but not in a good way. um, Visually, pretty good game. Music, really good. Story was overall great. Writing, I think I played it in, I think it was Japanese audio with English subtitles. I played it with that. I didn't try the English version as far as like English voiceovers, things like that. I didn't try it with that. I think I watched a few people try with do the English instead, like the Japanese. I enjoyed it with the Japanese audio. I heard the English, voice actors, things like that, and it's fine. It's okay, but I think the Japanese audio and voices are better. All right, we're drinking some water. Okay, so what is the next one? I got 6 left to figure out where we'll put them at. Right. I already think I know where my top 3 are. Yeah, I know which ones are my top 3. So it's a matter of figuring out 6, 5, and 4. And 2 of these games are not beaten, which is Kazan. I still got to go back to and beat, and Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers as well too. I think for me though, that's only because I just either didn't have time or other games kept coming out, type of thing. I'm gonna say Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers is number 6. Now I know this game had like some mixed opinions on launch, things like that, some technical problems that they eventually did get to and fix. I think within a few weeks to a month or so, they start fixing, because on PC it was not running good. So they got that figured out, luckily. And this is another like Souls, like very fun and offers wider range of builds and things like that. I still am going through it. I enjoy the story, and this is a game I definitely want to get back to at some point. A lot of fun and cool boss fights. Really cool boss fights. Although there is a frustrating thing with dealing with bosses, because like there are a few where you run into where they don't really let you get an opportunity to attack much, if at all. They're just super aggressive, and so you kind of have to be super aggressive back, but only when you get an opportunity. Because man, the attack patterns, their movements, things like that, is it's way hyper aggressive compared to other Souls like. So, but in terms of what you can do as far as like weapons you can get, gear, and just learn the environments, navigating, dealing with the enemies, regular enemies, and cool stuff you can find. Really cool there, and all the boss fights, awesome stuff there. I haven't beaten it yet, so I want to come back to it. Especially Souls like, plus to like build videos and see what all different builds you can do in this game, because it is awesome, and it's gotten better updates where they've tried to patch things out and make the game a more better experience. I don't know if they're doing any DLC though. I don't think they are. I haven't checked recently as far as like if they said they're going to be working on some DLC for the game or not. But if you're a Souls-like fan, I think you should still give us a shot, especially after they patched it to where they made it a better game in terms of like fix some optimization and performance issues for the game. Next up, I think we'll put Kazan as number 5. Once again, that's partially because I haven't beaten the game yet, but what I've played of it so far is just awesome. Once again, boss fights a lot of fun. The animations, visuals, the sound, really good. Exploring the environments, things like that, really good. And for a Souls like, it does some things differently. What I'm liking about it is I went with like a great sword type of build, and essentially I feel like Siegfried from Soul Calibur. That's how I feel this game in terms of like a gameplay combat style. And I want to keep that gameplay going, where I'm just essentially great sword hitting these enemies and bosses and just having a fun time. Obviously, it has its cons, things like that, because it's not super fast or like that, or sometimes not as fast as it should be. But it is a strong weapon. I think last time I played, I was stuck on a boss fight, and I don't even remember what that boss could do movement wise. So I think when I do get back to it, I'm gonna do either some stuff off stream to get practice in. But yeah, music though, good. Like I said, I like the audio visuals, how you navigate through environments. So it's a Souls like, and I'm trying to think what else makes it different besides some of like weapons and how you build your character. Because it is just traditional Souls like things. I mean, Ben Starr is in it as the main character, which is nice. He's been like in a lot of games this year actually too. As voice actor, he's in Clear Obscure and Kazan. I'm trying to think what else was he in. There's at least one more game or so. He was in, I think, Dead Take. He was in that and something else. But this game makes you feel powerful. Like Kazan, I would say, arguably makes you feel a little more powerful than Wu Chang Fallen Feathers does, or at least in different ways. So, but at the same time, you still gotta be careful with these enemies because they will take you out. They will take you out. But just a blast to play. Recommend it for sure. I'd say I would probably recommend this more than Wu Chang because unlike Wu Chang, this didn't really have any technical problems. Like played on PC just fine, performance optimization, all that stuff good. All stuff good, at least for me anyway. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Number 4. I think this is where Hollow Knight's gonna go for me. Hollow Knight is a good game. It is a good game. And the fact that it's only $20 when they could have easily charged way more. This game has so much content in it for an indie game. It has so much content. Like you can spend easily, I want to say 50 to 100 hours in Silksong. And that's if you're trying to do, I would say mostly everything, if not everything in the game. Because there's 3 acts. I beat it, but only beat the first 2 acts because I got the initial first ending, and there's like a 3rd act you got to work towards getting. I didn't feel like doing that. I've watched other people do it. I was read and seen what you got to do for it. I'm just like, nope, I'm good. I'm not super big into Metroidvanias either, but this was the hardest Metroidvania game I ever played, and it is another Souls-like in a sense as well too. Funny enough, a lot of these games are Souls-likes in some way, or have Souls-like elements to them, even if they're not fully Souls-like games, like Silent Hill F, Irwin's Meat, you know, and of course Elden Ring, Night Ring Souls-like, Wu Chang, Kazan Souls-likes, all night. Like I like my Souls-likes. This is how I am when it comes to this art type of RPGs. Hollow Knight's music is so freaking good, and I've said this before too. The boss fights for Silksong, to me, are the best thing aside from the music about the game. Obviously, the art style and visuals is really good too. I like the cutscenes where they have them. For me, what is I don't know if I want to say the word detriment, but what is a gripe for me when it comes to Hollow Knight Silksong is the way the regular enemies are in terms of how you got to deal with them and just how tough they are. Essentially, Hollow Knight Silksong makes the first Hollow Knight game look, seem like it's a beta or a demo, basically. Because enemies are definitely a lot more tougher to deal with and fight. And I'm talking about regular enemies. Bosses in Silksong are about on the same level as the first game in terms of like overall fun, challenge, and just how you got to learn them and things like that. Because I had a lot of fun with the boss fights in the game, and I enjoyed going against the bosses more than regular enemies. The other gripe I have is just trying to navigate through the environments was a bit more frustrating and challenging than the first game, for me at least. And that was annoying. So that's partially why I just don't want to go through trying to get a true ending and stuff like that for Silksong. I'm cool with the first ending I got. I got other games I got to get to. I still have games I haven't even gotten to yet. So Silksong is number 4 in my top 10 here for games of 2025. And let's figure this out. We got Dispatch, Death Stranding 2, Clear Obscure, F 3. We already know what my number 1 favorite is because that's the game of the year for me, but where did the other 2 fall, right? Where did the other 2 fall? Well, for me, I'm going to put... Why is this not working? Death Stranding 2 on the beach is at number 3 for me. And I was debating, this is a toss-up because this is going to be number 2 or 3. Mainly because it's such a great story. Like, much like the first Death Stranding game, this story to me is the best thing about it. The overall story and how it all ends up adding up and making sense by the end, for the most part. There are obviously some still things I have questions about in terms of lore and what could happen. But the gameplay has been improved, a lot more fun in that sense. You unlock things quicker than the first game, and Kojima made sure that was a important thing for the player to do, is unlock things earlier than the first game. Whereas first game felt like a bit of a slog unlocking stuff. So this game, you get stuff faster, and you can go through the game without having to really upgrade much of anything in terms of your weapons and gear. I did just fine. I ended up not fighting much of like the optional bosses or side quest stuff. I did a little bit of side quest stuff, but didn't really find myself really trying to fight. I was mostly just trying to get through the main story and enjoy the main story. That's what I was there for. There is a bunch of side missions, side quest stuff, side content you can do in the game that makes the game even way longer. But it has one ending as far as I know. So there's no multiple endings. I don't think it has New Game Plus either. So you pretty much, your first playthrough is what it is, or you just do a playthrough and then you can choose to go through it however you want, as far as like if you want to do most, some, or all the side content on top of the main story, which does give you some like new weapons, better versus weapons, things like that, and other gear and cool things. But it's not exactly like a must, and I liked it about that game. I liked that about Death Stranding too. So very, very good voice. The acting, oh my god, everybody did a great job in this. From voice acting, cutscenes are great, visuals, music, all that stuff. So not just the combat and gameplay was better, and obviously the story was really good, but the music and visuals and sound effects just all improved upon, expanded upon. Much, much better of a game. We had a lot of sequels this year too, which is crazy. We had a lot of sequels in 2025. All right, guys, to no surprise, since you should already know, my number one game, Dispatch, is number 2. And then Clair Obscur, number 1. So let's get into Dispatch first. Dispatch feels like a return to form in a sense of like the Telltale games of old, like with The Walking Dead, and I think what Game of Thrones Telltale game, and I would say maybe the first like Tales from Borderlands as well. This is a game made by former Telltale's devs anyway too, so it makes sense, and it's definitely reminiscent or similar to like Invincible TV show and The Boys, in terms of like it's got mature themes, topics, as well as very funny, hilarious. Gameplay wise, it's okay, it's fine. It's not the greatest in terms of gameplay mechanics, but the story, the music, the characters, they are essentially the star of the game and what I think get a lot of people through it. 8 episodes. I'm actually glad I waited for all eight episodes to drop before I got this. And yeah, it was worth the wait, in my opinion, because I would have hated having to play through like the first couple episodes. I got to wait a week for the next couple, then got to wait another week, So these type of games, like they release them episodically, but I waited till they're all out because I want to play it back to back, because it's not a long game either. It's like roughly 8 hours. So 8 episodes, 8 hours makes sense, right? Each episode's like roughly like 45 minutes to an hour, depending how quickly you go through it. There's romance options in there. It's like that. Some different outcomes, multiple endings. So a lot of love for this game, and such a blast to play. I recommend it highly, especially if you're into these style of games, or if you just like superhero stuff and you want a good, funny superhero game, but also a game that has a lot of heart to it as well too. Because there definitely was that moment. I always know about it when it comes to Chase Trackstar. Whew, I got a lot of people like, man, myself included. And then, of course, to probably no one's surprise, if you really know me and what I've been talking about this year, is Clair Obscur Exodus 33 being my number 1. And obviously, I won Game Awards as well. Won like 9 awards at the Game Awards. For me, Clair Obscur Exodus 33 just did pretty much almost everything right. Music is fantastic. Visuals fantastic. Sound design, audio, fantastic. The story, the characters. The ending, though, like the way there's 2 endings, and I see why they did it that way. I think my only gripe is just how the endings are to a degree, because neither ending is a good or bad ending. It's just like up to interpretation, basically. I think at that point, uh, both are just like kind of in the gray, or in terms of like, okay, yeah, and you either gonna side with one of them, basically. So, but the combat, man, this does something really, really great in terms of turn-based combat with keeping players engaged consistently throughout the game. And it's because of the whole parry system, right? You got in terms of your defenses, you got the whole parry system, you got dodging, and then I think there's a third thing you can do. I forgot what it was. Then there's so many cool boss fights, so many cool bosses you can find. The end game is insane. I didn't even get all of it done because it's just so tough to get like some of those bosses defeated because you got to level up. But you can also make broken builds. You can make broken builds very early on, which will get you through the main story just fine. It's more of like the side quest bosses, the optional bosses that if you decide to go after them, especially in end game, right before the end Act 3, are super freaking tough and you need to be leveled up for them. And heck, I think there's at least one, if not a handful, even if you're like level 99 where the max level is, you're still going to have a tough time trying to defeat those bosses. There's even a new DLC or free DLC they added to the game that adds new content. I think they improved, or if not added, the photo mode as well too. And there's new bosses they added in terms of that content. Well, it was like Verso's drafts or something like that, which I still got to do. You can do that in game. But I've already beaten the game. I'm just going to do like a new game plus run at some point and try to do more of the in game stuff as far as like try to take on those side bosses, try to level up more, and when I have more time to do that. So, and obviously check out that free new DLC content that they gave us, the fans. And they're not done. This is their first game in like an IP, a franchise, this universe, like Clear Obscure. Expedition 33 is just the name of the first game, but Clear Obscure as an IP, they're going to continue it. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future, but it'll be interesting if they can maybe stay within this universe they've built. Still call it Clear Obscure, but we call it something else. Like instead of Expedition 33, it'd be something else because there is something really going on in like what they established in terms of like what's the real world in this game. In this whole, I think, war or conflict or whatever the heck is going on with these factions in the real world. Um, of Clear Obscure. So I'm interested to see if they maybe go to explore that more in a sequel, or if they maybe just do something different. Maybe they, I don't know, treat it like a Final Fantasy game, and like maybe the next sequel or next Clear Obscure game isn't a direct tie-in from the previous game. Who knows? Who knows? But definitely a game I recommend. This game has gotten people into turn-based RPGs who were never into turn-based RPGs before, and it has a good amount of replay value to it because you can, besides the two endings, you can get there's different builds for characters you can try out on each playthrough. And if you didn't like get all the side content done, didn't 100% it on a first playthrough and things like that, then you can go back and play it again. Plus, New Game Plus, I think, gives you an extra challenge as well too. And there's more stuff to collect in the game. I think there's like new Pictos, and because Pictos are based like materia from Final Fantasy. If you think about it, they're just like they're materia, but maybe more streamlined, I guess you could say. And there's also, I'm trying to think, just byte-based new content they just dropped too. So I would say it has a lot of replay value from that aspect. Well, maybe not a lot because there's only two endings. But if you don't necessarily care about that, but if you're trying to like maybe go for bosses you missed or just do different builds on each playthrough for each character, just to see how that works out, then there's that. Looking forward to what Sandfall Interactive does in the future as far as their next project. Definitely keep an eye on them, and I hope they do well. Hope they continue to do well. That's my top 10 games though for 2025, guys. And I hope you enjoyed that. I know this is like a long video, but I had to give each game their respect, their love, and attention. Let me know, let me know your top 10 games on the comments below, what you think, and what was for you this year, like what worked out for you the best, and what did you play the most, and things like that. Love to hear from you. All right. I know yours is Silk Song, Blood. Okay. All right, now we're going back to disappointing 2025 games, at least for me. At least for me. So I got 6 on here, right? And these are all disappointing for different reasons. Well, some different reasons, some similar reasons. Let's go with Avowed first. And it's funny, I got Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 on here, same devs, right? Obsidian. So Avowed was supposed to be like Obsidian's version of Elder Scrolls, right? Essentially, and they even admitted so that at one point they were trying to make Avowed like as big as Skyrim or whatever, or Skyrim-like in a sense. And they just couldn't get it done, or they couldn't get it done in time. And so they had to get it out, and you can't romance, your companions or characters in that. Outer Worlds 2 is also suffering from this. There were a little bit of technical problems with both games. I'll probably just put these both together in a sense. Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 are both made by the same company. And Outer Worlds 2 is basically like Obsidian's Fallout, basically, and Avowed's there's Elder Scrolls. So story was fine, it was okay. There's different endings, both games, things like that. Different character builds you can do. Something I wish that both games have and they both suffer from is like, because you can get leveled up fairly quickly in both Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, to where if you're doing enough of the side content on top of the main story content, essentially before you reach the end of the game, you're max level or close to it. And then you stop progressing, right? It would have been nice if they had some type of system built in where you still have some form of progression. Like maybe you're max level, but then like maybe you get like, I don't know, extra skill points somehow to put in your skills, or you can respec in some way, right? Or if you keep using a certain skill, it can level it up more or something like that. So both games suffer from just not feeling encouraged to do more of the content in the game, because once you hit that max level, it's not really much of a point in trying to level up anymore. You're just kind of at the point like, okay, let me just kind of do what I need to do to get through the game. So, but both are good. I will say Outer Worlds 2 is better than Avowed in terms from like a writing standpoint, some humor, characters, things like that. But both in terms of content, like have similar stuff you can do as far as like side quests, main story, companion quests, things like that. I would say Avowed probably suffered a bit more from technical problems than Outer Worlds 2 did, but that's why I'm disappointed in those games. 97% completion so far in Silksong. Yeah, I believe it. Doom: The Dark Ages. So I was hoping this Doom game was going to be at least just as good as Doom Eternal, and it's not a bad game by any means. I'm disappointed in it because of, I guess, the overall feel of it. This wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be. It felt like it overstayed its welcome. Like they were promoting it and made it to be the longest Doom game in the series, and it truly is. It's like 20 hours long or so. And it's open world a bit too, like, or semi-open zone or open world ish, because there's these massive maps you'd be going through and trying to get through and kill enemies and stuff like that and progress story. Cool weapons though. They had some cool weapons and some fun fights, things like that, fun enemies, but I don't know, it just didn't hit the same. Like the music wasn't as good to me, like compared to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. That's partially because Mick Gordon did the music for those games. Well, Mick Gordon did some of the music for Eternal until, the whole split that happened between him and Bethesda. But yeah, I think the story too was a little lackluster in a way, but then again, you're not necessarily probably playing Doom for the story per se. It definitely felt like it overstayed its welcome though. Like they should have maybe not had to be this long. Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, roughly, I think each 10 hours, maybe a little bit longer, but then you can be even shorter than that. I'm sure you can beat Doom Dark Ages a lot shorter than 20 hours. It's just on the first playthrough. In comparison to the previous 2 games, you're spending like essentially about double the amount of time on the first playthrough, roughly. Whereas the first 2, you're spending about 9-10 hours maybe on the first playthrough, maybe 12 at most if you're like dying a lot or whatever heck have you. And that's like normal mode maybe, or maybe if you're playing on hard mode, you're really good. And it also depends on how much side content you do as far as like collectibles you find and other stuff, things like that. But yeah, for me, Doom Dark Ages, I mean, good, fine game. Like, all right, it's like maybe like a 7 out of 10 at best. It just was disappointing because there was just some stuff that seemed to be paced out better and structured better, I guess you can say. Um, yeah, because it just, I don't know, it dragged for me. I just couldn't wait to be done. Sadly, and I don't want to feel like that. I really don't. Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm going to echo what pretty much a lot of people have already talked about this year with Monster Hunter Wilds. The PC version, at least, very disappointing from a technical optimization and performance standpoint. And even if it didn't have those issues, they're, at least at launch anyway, I mean, it's gotten better over time now as they've done some free big title updates, things like that. They've added more content to the game, but at launch, at least, it didn't feel like there was enough content to do. And even with the free title updates, they're adding more content, but it still feels maybe not, I don't know, it doesn't feel either enough or doesn't feel as engaging. Like, I don't feel as encouraged to come back to it and want to keep like getting my hunter rank up and do all this other stuff and things like that in the game compared to Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World, I felt way more encouraged and incentivized to come back to it or keep playing it, especially when there was like a new content update, things like that. I know they're going to do a big expansion for this. They always do one good expansion for these Monster Hunter games. They'll come like roughly a year or so later. So I expect we'll get expansion for Monster Hunter Wilds announced sometime this year. Might probably won't come out this year because Capcom already has a lot coming out this year, like Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, Onimusha Way of the Sword, Mega Man Collection. There's another game I'm missing. Monster Hunter Stories 3. So I think we'll get the expansion announcement this year at some point, probably Summer Games Fest, but it won't be out maybe till either late this year or sometime in 2027. It's my guess, but we'll see, because we are coming up on the 1 year anniversary soon of Monster Hunter Wilds, so which is, I think, is next month in February. But yeah, I don't know. Just the monsters are pretty cool for the most part. There's some monsters I wish were in there that are not in there, and I think another issue too was, for many players, myself included, it just felt too easy to get through, and it didn't feel as long as Monster Hunter World in terms of like the base game content, and in terms of like the main story and stuff like that. I don't know. It just either didn't feel as long, felt a bit shorter, and not as difficult in a unfun way. So there's that. And lastly, Borderlands 4. Well, not a bad game either. I don't necessarily think these are all like bad games or anything like that. They just are games that I feel disappointed in. It could have been a lot better than what they were. Borderlands 4 I played a few times, and it's fun. The story and writing seems a bit better than Borderlands 3 initially, but then I've read and seen reports of how the end game is, and end game is not that great, and some stuff that they promised is going to be in the game to do an end game is not even in the game still. So I want to get through it. I want to beat it, at least beat the main story. But yeah, I just don't really feel encouraged to play it beyond that, sadly. And I thought they were going to do more events or updates, things like that since then. But I think the last major thing they did was the Halloween event. I don't remember them doing anything for Christmas time. So, and they got a roadmap of some kind. They gotta have future updates, things like that coming out for events stuff. So I don't know. But, and technical issues. Oh man, I remember Randy Pitchford was just saying stuff he shouldn't be saying. And the game also on PC, once again, much like Monster Hunter Wilds, suffered from a lot of technical performance optimization problems. They have since launch, I think, ironed a lot of that stuff out. I haven't played in a while though, so I'm not sure how good or bad it is from a performance standpoint on PC or even console at this point. But yeah, so hopefully it gets better from a gameplay perspective, maybe over time, and hopefully they add some better in-game content too that maybe encourage people to want to come back to it or keep playing it. But time will tell. Time will tell. I want to spend less time on this though than I did the other stuff because it's less games, and then yeah. Oh wait. I didn't speak of Metal Gear Solid Delta. That's not, yeah, Delta's the last one. Delta was a 1-to-1 remake. They didn't really change anything, but this also suffered from performance issues, oscillation issues, things like that. It wasn't just me. It was other people seeing online, things like that. And it just, a lot of these games are made with Unreal Engine 5, and that's part of the issue, like Borderlands 4, Unreal Engine 5, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Unreal Engine 5. Outer Worlds 2 is Unreal Engine 5, but it ran pretty good for me on PC. I think Avowed is also Unreal Engine 5 and ran fairly decent for me. Didn't run as good as Outer Worlds 2 overall, but a lot of these, like part of the issue is these devs keep wanting to use Unreal Engine 5, and I get it. Unreal Engine 5 is supposed to make a lot of stuff easier, but then it also has a notorious history of being problematic as far as optimization for games, both on PC and console. And essentially, you're just like playing a lottery where like it's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. In terms of like optimization performance, and that is partially up to the devs understanding how the engine actually works and trying to figure it out to get it to, you know, work for their game, basically. So that way they don't have, or have very little, you know, bugs, glitches, other technical issues. So, and industry keeps going with the Unreal Engine 5. I don't know, instead of either making their own engine or something like that. So it's worrisome. And I don't know, I'm worried about the video game industry when it comes to that, because they need to either have better game engines, or Unreal Engine 5 needs an overhaul or something for it to be better. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But what were your disappointing games of 2025? This is another video I'll put up on YouTube as well too. We'll talk about it. So share in the comments below what you're most disappointed in terms of your games that you either played or beat in 2025. All right, guys. I need some water. So I want to take a break from this. We're going to talk about most, let's see. All right, 2026. Okay. All right, I'm going to get to top anticipated RPGs 2026 in a bit here. I want to take a look at Code Vein 2. They recently dropped a gameplay walkthrough. So let's take a look at that, react to it, and talk about it. Okay. Let me see, where is it? I think it was this. I looked at a little bit of it and I wanted to fully go over it though. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Wait, there we go. Wait. All right, Code Vein dropped a walkthrough trailer. Code Vein 2, sorry. And this game comes out, what, on the 30th of January? So let's check out what they showcased here.
In Code Vein 2, you'll play as a revenant hunter who travels between the past and present to prevent the world's collapse. In this guided walkthrough, you'll journey 100 years to the past to join José on her mission to cleanse the waters of Sunken City and uncover the truth behind its pollution crisis. José carries deep guilt over past mistakes that caused great destruction and are connected to the pollution itself. As the story unfolds, players gradually uncover the truth about her past and the weight she bears.
Okay, that's good.
The epicenter of the resurgence ought to be dead ahead. We're in for a difficult search, I think.
We're now approaching the final section of Sunken Pylon, a large dungeon that holds the key to cleansing Sunken City's polluted waters. The game features 7 weapon types, allowing for varied combat styles. Players can unleash fast, agile combos with the new dual blades.
Nice. Yeah, and it's they mentioned they have 7 weapon types in here. So yeah, we got dual blades. I think there's a one-handed sword. I want to say like a lance or not a lance. I can't think of the word for it. It's not like a lance. It's something else, like a hatchet. Not even a long. I can't even think of the word. But basically, you got all these different weapon types. There's things you can do. I think there is like a great sword in here too. And then I think there's these runic swords that float around you that you can use in combat as well too, like these floating weapons. So that's pretty cool. Let's see how these dual blades are.
Or harness the halberd's raw power for heavier...
Halberd, that's what I was trying to say. Halberd, okay.
Players can also use special skills called Fourme, divided into 3 categories. Defensive Fourme, for guarding and evading.
Nice, okay.
Weapon Fourme for combat, magic,
right,
and support skills that enhance or modify attacks. And Bequeath Fourme, for summoning powerful weapons to unleash devastating attacks.
Ooh. Okay. Environments look better than the first game, though. And the actual gameplay visuals look better than initially when announced.
A resource called Ichor, which is gained through the Drain Attack system. By damaging enemies with regular weapon attacks, players increase enemy wounds and extract more Ichor.
Right, makes sense. That's pretty cool. How you summon like these dogs or dragon type, weapons. Hold on a second. I need to blow my nose. Okay.
Enough horsing around.
Enemy design looks pretty cool too. Shoot like purple balls at him and then various streams of light. So I didn't get a chance to beat the first game. I played a little bit of the first game when it came out in 2019. I need to get to it. I know this isn't a direct sequel, so you don't necessarily have to play the first game to understand what's going on, but I do at some point want to get to the first game, and as well as obviously I'm gonna do a Let's Play series of this game. You guys voted on what you wanted for this. Is Code Vein 2 drops like a week roughly before Neo 3, and I want to live stream Neo 3. This will be a Let's Play, so you guys vote on that. Thank y'all for voting on that.
Between summoning, where your partner fights alongside you, and assimilation, where they merge with you to boost your stats and combat abilities.
Yeah, I'm wondering how this is going to work out fully in the game, as far as if it's better to assimilate your companion AI that helps you, or keep them out, because I know that if you keep them out, don't assimilate them, they can help revive you essentially. But like the revive they do is like on a cooldown or whatever, and I think they, from what I read, I think you either get less health for each revive or something like that. They do something like that. They may even talk about it in here. Nice. That's the runic like weapons or swords you can use. That's new, I think, to this game. It wasn't in Code Vein 1. Each weapon has their pros and cons, of course. Like dual blade saw earlier is very fast, but you gotta be close up. Don't have good range. This looks to be like good range. A little slower. Not as slow as probably like a great sword, but fairly strong. Dude, these enemy designs. There, something else in a good way. Man, that looks very cool how the runic blades work, where you essentially do your like melee or kind of like martial arts attacks first and then they move. That's probably like a con of these, is the fact that these weapons, while in the air flowing around you, can't do anything until you essentially attack first with your body, with your hands or feet, basically legs.
The player is moments away from a demanding boss encounter that will put their skills to the test.
Nicer not being cooped up.
Okay. Let's see this boss encounter.
There it is. That's the Medigan remnant that's polluting our water. Careful now. It may be a vestige, but it's still a potent mass of energy.
Oh, wow. All right, very cool boss design here.
Remember me? How lovely to see you again. You look the same as you did then, even as a vestige. For all I lost that day, for all you took from me, let justice be done.
Wait, she gets like different eye patches or something like that, or infused in her eye patch? Like this gives her different abilities?
Today, you'll pay your
Huh.
dues.
All right, actually look at the boss fight. It does like a mouth beam light. She got to dodge. And that looks like to be the great sword that you get, or broadsword. Okay. Whoa, did this like shoot a ball like blood or something at the boss? It's like a ranged attack.
If you lose all your HP during battle, your partner can revive you with the strong
Yeah,
offering.
I remember reading about that.
Mindful of the cooldown. After using it, your partner is temporarily incapacitated and unable to assist you in battle.
Ah, okay. So after you use a revive for, like, with your companion, they're out of commission for a bit. As the cooldown essentially is recovering. I guess some boss fights are going to like probably encourage or demand you to use an ally
We hope
versus
you
having them
enjoy
assimilated you.
Trophy
We'll see.
when the game releases on January 30th, 2026.
That is it. That is it. Okay, so we talked a little bit about that. Showed off different weapons, which is cool. They show off like dual blades, the runic swords, great sword, halberd. I think there's 3 weapons they didn't show off yet, but still pretty cool for the walkthrough trailer there. I'm excited for it. Even though I didn't beat the first game, I played the first game a little bit here. You also got the pre-order bonuses here and things like that. Oh, there's a character creator demo coming on the 23rd. Good. Okay. I think they're doing something like how Capcom did with Dragon's Dogma 2. So that'd be cool. That way, you know, us as players are not having to spend like half an hour to even hours once the game launches on just character creator alone. We can actually do it in a demo and then more likely it carries over to the full game. So that'd be fun to do. I don't know who I'm gonna make exactly, because I don't necessarily want to make myself in this game. I want to maybe try something different. We'll see. But cool stuff there. I'm excited for it. Looking forward to it, and hope you guys are too. And it looks more and more impressive as we get more and more gameplay shown off from it. It looks better and better. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this as well too. Please share your thoughts. Love to hear from you. If you're more excited about this, and what kind of character might you create? Love to hear from you. All right. That's it for that. Let's see. Okay. Yo, King, what's up, man? Good to see you. So, next up, guys, I want to talk about the top anticipated RPG of 2026. Definitely RPGs I'm mainly looking forward to. I'm not going to include like every single one on here. Obviously, if you got some that you're looking forward to, that's great. Let me know about those. But I want to first get into, Code Vein. We're not gonna number these. We're just gonna just name them. Code Vein 2. So that's looking better and better as we keep seeing more gameplay for it. It's coming out later this month in January. I'll definitely have a before you buy video for it as well, and maybe an AMV video for it too. But yeah, looking cool from the gameplay footage we've seen so far, and what we can do as far as different weapons. Not entirely sure how the build's going to work exactly just yet, but we'll find out obviously later on. There's a character creator demo that they're going to drop like a week before the game comes out, so that'll be nice. But looking forward to that. And I love my anime style games too. So Anime Souls was what like Code Vein 1 was, or had the meme of, and things like that. And I'm just hoping this is a much better game than the first game. Like they learned their lessons and improved upon it. So we'll see. We'll see. What else comes out RPG wise within the next few months here? Neo 3, of course. Can't forget that. The GOAT, in terms of like being one of the greatest Souls-likes of all time in terms of a series or franchise. Lies of P is still my favorite Souls-like game that's not made by From Software. Neo series is probably like right after that. Neo 3 is a week roughly after Code Vein 2 drops, which is crazy. But I'm looking forward to the different weapon types you can use in this. There's going to be a demo for this. I think a new demo they drop, I think, on the 29th of January. So we'll be able to play it. And then I think the save data carries over from that as well too, from the demo to the full game, if you want to utilize that. And we'll see how it is. I'm looking for different builds you can do, because something that's new that they didn't do before is the whole like switch styles between samurai and ninja, basically. Whereas in previous games, yeah, you can either focus on having like a samurai focus type of build, or you could kind of do like a shinobi ninja style build too, if you want to focus on that. But this time they're both incorporated, and they want you to switch between them and do like the burst counters and things like that. It seems like maybe samurai might be more focused, like either for one-on-one encounters, possibly, depending how you build it. And then like the ninja style is maybe more for like being more agile, getting through areas faster. We'll see. But I think it's all going to be how you build each, well, yeah, pretty much how you build each style. Or just what weapons you decide to use and what kind of build you want to go for in the game. But looking forward to that a lot there. Hopefully it runs good too on PC. It's known, Team Ninja for some reason has been known to have some, at launch at least, bad PC ports or not so great PC ports of the Neo games, at least on launch. So heck, their last one, what, Rise of the Ronin, still sending mixed reviews, and I don't know. So I'm definitely going to get this on console over PC, at least for me. Let's see, what else is coming out soon here? I'm trying to think. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Now, you guys know I like the Yakuza series and Like a Dragon series. This is essentially a remake, but it's more than just a remake, because that's what they call Kiwami. Kiwami means ultimate. So this is going to be the ultimate version of Yakuza 3. And they're adding new story content that isn't small either. It's like a good lengthy amount with Dark Ties, which is a prequel story for the antagonist, like the villain of Yakuza 3. So you get to play as the antagonist, and events take place before the events of Yakuza 3. So you get to learn about him and kind of understand him better as a character, which I really dig that. And like they're adding that. Plus they added some extra stuff you can do as far as like mini games, activities with the kids, because in Yakuza Kiwami 3, as Kiryu, he is running an orphanage with his adopted daughter, basically. So he essentially is running an orphanage with a bunch of these kids, and he's going to be doing all these different activities with them, or can, if you want to get more involved. Basically, a lot of side content has been added to add more, I guess, lore or just fun in this remake, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me double check. What else is coming out? This one I'm looking forward to, but I'm not gonna probably play right away unless I get a key for it. I did request a key for it, so we'll see. But Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon, which is a new Legend of Heroes game. I actually played the demo for it. There's a demo available right now and checked it out because I do plan to have like a before you buy video for this either around similar time this video goes up on YouTube. I don't know when I'll get all these videos out, but yeah, this actually is really pretty good. I played a demo and the combat surprised me. It is a lot. They kind of like within, I played that first, hour and a half of the demo, and they consistently like are teaching you new stuff, introducing you to new mechanics you can use in combat. And it seems like a lot at first until you get used to it. But it's very flashy, very cool, very like team synergy type of focus stuff to deal with enemies as well as bosses. And it gives you options in terms of the gameplay itself. It gives you options as far as like if you want to do like the command, like turn-based combat, or you can just do action combat outside of it. So pretty cool stuff there. Love the voice acting well too. Music's pretty good and overall visuals pretty good. So looking forward to that. But most likely it'd be a wait to buy for me. Unless I get it for free, like I said, because I did request a key for it. We'll see. But looking forward to that. And honestly, I got a lot of the other Legend of Heroes games already, like 7 of them. And I think this is what, let me see, because there's 2, 3, then Daybreak 1 and 2. That's 5. So this is 6 plus that. I think this is number 13 in the series. Like if we're counting like, because we got Trails in the Sky trilogy, right? Then you got Trails of Cold Steel, which is 4 games. And then you got Zero Azure, which takes place between Trails in the Sky and Cold Steel. And then Reverie, I think, takes place after Cold Steel. And then you have Daybreak 1 and 2, and now this one. So yeah, it's like, yeah, wow, it's a lot of games. What else we got? What else? You know what? The 7 Deadly Sins free-to-play game, Origin. This is a game that's based on the anime. So I'm interested to see how they do this one. It gives me vibes of being similar to maybe like Genshin Impact a little bit. It's free-to-play. It's a gacha game. It comes out later this month. So hopefully it's fun. I'll definitely check it out, give initial impressions at least of it. Typically with these like free-to-play gachas or anime games, like I play them for a little bit when they first come out, and then because my backlog's so high and I got other games I got to focus on, I will not go back to them, at least not for a long time, just because like I get the backlog down with single-player games, things like that. But I am looking forward to this because, like I said, I'm a fan of the anime, the characters. I know this game is going to feature Tristan, who is the son of Meliodas and, oh geez, why I forget her name. His love interest, why I forget her name. Brain is not working right now. But he's the son of Meliodas, and essentially this is supposed to be an original story in sort of like a multiverse type of thing going on too. So we'll see how it works out. There's supposed to be co-op as well too, exploration co-op. Have some, if not all, the like original characters in the anime and manga in it. So hopefully it's a good time. I would say another one that's free to play coming out is Arknight Infield, which is another free to play. I'm not sure if it's gacha, but I know it's free to play, and it's gonna have some like mechanics of obviously combat, RPG combat, and some satisfactory type of stuff where you got to, I guess, build facilities to make resources or get resources, things like that. So that'll be interesting. Like I said, I'll try it out. It's free to play. Why not? And it drops later this month, towards the end of the month. These both drop towards the end of the month. Actually, it's crazy. Code Vein 2 and these two free to play games like drop very close to each other towards like the late January. For some reason, I don't know why they did that. What else? What else is coming out? Almost forgot. Dragon Quest, the latest Dragon Quest like remake, Dragon Quest 7, I think. Yeah, Dragon Quest 7 reimagined. This is gonna be wait for a sale for me, just like Legend of Heroes, unless I somehow get it for free. But I never gotten in fully into the Dragon Quest series, but I do appreciate that they're bringing back and preserving these older games, right? RPGs that were made in the 80s, 90s, things like that. We recently had before this Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake that dropped last year. So, and this is coming out literally like a few months, 5 months later, something like that. Because the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2 remake was like October 2025. So this is February. So literally like 3-4 months later, which is wild to think. And different art style too. Like it's going not that HD 2D style. It's doing something completely different. I think it's focused on like this 3D, almost like clay. Well, not even clay. No, like these models, like these sort of 3D models, miniatures, or whatever. And they got to work in the video game. So very cool stuff there. And it's supposed to have a ton of content, I believe. I didn't play the OG, but from what I read or heard about when it comes to this game, I think it's going to have like 60 to 100 hours of content for you to do. And that's including like main story and side content and other stuff. So that'll be pretty awesome there. Looking forward to that whenever I do get a chance to get to it. Crimson Desert. This drops in March. And I think it's not fully being promoted as an RPG, even though it technically is, or at least has RPG elements to it. It's action, adventure, open world. And from what we've seen so far, read about, like in all the like trailers and footage they've shown us so far, to me it keeps looking better and better. I haven't had any actual hands-on. Maybe it'll give us a demo, hopefully, before it releases. We can try out a demo of it and see how the gameplay is ourselves. But looking forward to it. It looks very impressive, all the different abilities you can do, and like they even, I think, added in some like drop kicks and some other wrestling moves in there. I think I saw like an RKO or something in there they could do. The combat looks freaking nuts in a good way. Boss fights look really cool. I'm not sure about the story and how it's going to be, but overall the gameplay when it comes to combat and things you can do, like you can Spider-Man swing, I think, around, and you can like fly or glide in the air and different stuff. It's just, wow, looks really, really impressive. Hey, what's up, Daniel? All right, what else is coming out RPG wise for this year that has my attention? We definitely got some more. The Relic First Guardian. So this game looks really cool and is a Souls-like coming up here. Let me go to it. Let's take a look at it.
Soldier's pendant. On the back, faint words are engraved. Elrad, I will return to my family.
Elrad, a child spins the pinwheel every day, waiting for you. I keep hoping someone might bring word of thee, or even something you left behind.
Father, the wind blew again today. Mother says the wind is you.
Though the steps never returned, their waiting became the wind that circles the hill.
Like, this looks so cool.
The pinwheel remembers the love of a family.
Early 2026, but that's coming out May. And actually, let's look at the other videos for stuff I've already talked about. So, Crimson Desert, like, let's check that out. At least some of these. Like, dude, you can ride dragons in this game too and use a fire breath. There's some cool puzzles here. I knew I was forgetting stuff. I definitely was forgetting some stuff you could do in here. And the way the bosses look and structure boss fights, like apparently there's a mech you can use too. The way you can pop yourself from the air and then go down or glide away. This game looks like it gives you a lot of options in combat. I'm also wondering like what potential build variety is there in this game? What you can do, what other weapons can you use? Here's like the Spider-Man swing type effect. And apparently you can ride a big bear. Wow. Ooh. So hopefully they get it right. Hopefully they get it the polish, you know, good for this game, and it drops March 19th, so not too far away. Pearl Abyss. It was originally going to be a, I think, what, multiplayer game or something like that. I think it was supposed to be like Black Desert Online, but they changed it to being single player. So probably a good decision they did that. Oh, whoops. Code Vein 2.
Snuffed from existence.
As I mentioned earlier, one of the games I'm looking forward to, Anime Souls, is back in this, and hopefully it's really good and polished and a lot of fun. Good build variety.
Our true objective is to save this world, our current world.
It definitely looks better than the initial announcement trailer.
The tampering with history is strictly forbidden.
Because for some reason, the initial announcement trailer, just like with the character models and visuals, it just looked off to me. And even though I'm not like a visual first type of gamer or person, I like gameplay over that.
Let's go.
The visuals at least have to make sense for the game, right? Really cool bosses and monsters here. And we saw this in the walkthrough trailer. Oh, there's the hammer. And then that's the new boss they showed off recently too. So it looks impressive. Like, definitely looks like an upgrade from the first game. We don't know what the heck that is, but very cool. There's another one I want to check out. Neo 3 and Yakuza.
I trust you'll be able to rid us of this crucible. The light, who traverses time.
Now, apparently this involves time traveling too, just similar to Code Vein. Whereas the main character you play as has got to stop, I guess, his sibling from essentially doing some evil stuff. But I'm hoping this game allows you to do more of what it wants you to do in terms of like the combat styles, abilities, things like that. Some of the issues I had with like Neo 1 was I felt like the game gave you this cool stuff you can do in combat, but then like restrict you from doing it because how enemies or bosses worked. So I don't know, we'll see.
It is I who will be Shogun. Kurimatsu.
Now here is Seven Deadly Sins origin, how it's looking. Looks pretty much like the anime. You got Tristan here. I haven't seen the anime with like focus on Tristan, but I noticed focus on Meadows' son here, and do some cool stuff. There's co-op, it's free to play. I'm wondering how the original character is going to play into this. Visually looks good. Obviously, okay, so you got like, for some reason, kid versions of the original characters in here that you get to play as. Some cool bosses. There is co-op. I'm not sure how co-op's going to work outside of maybe like doing some dungeons together or like run around the open world potentially. Stuff like that. Hey, Valsy. Hey, GM. But you guys know, if you know me, I'm a big weeb. I like anime. Well, more than like it, I love anime. I watch anime a lot. January 28th. Now, I already pre-registered for this on the, I think, official site. I didn't do it through Steam. Neo 3 exists? Yes, Neo 3 exists. Where have you been? What's your favorite anime and least favorite? So this is going to sound cliche, but number one favorite is going to be Dragon Ball. Least favorite, though, that's harder. Oh, boy, that's harder. It's harder for me just because I don't remember the bad ones that I don't really care for, really. Got home after working overtime, had a shower, making some food now. And so, you want, I appreciate you stopping by and hope you get some good rest and eat some good food because you need it. My day's been alright. It's been productive. Dragon Ball cliche, not in this account anymore. True, true. I only say that because I feel like a lot of people love Dragon Ball still. I don't know. Least favorite though, man. I am trying to think. Probably Inuyasha. And the only reason I say that is I try to get into Inuyasha. Like I watched like the first few episodes, maybe up to like the 5th episode, and just, I don't know. It didn't grab me. It lost me. Chicken fingers and fries. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's see. What's the other one on the list here so far? Legend of Heroes looks pretty cool. Let's check that out. There is a demo for this if you want to check it out. Trails Beyond. Right.
You're finished.
So if you've never played Legend of Heroes game, this might be a good entry point. There's a demo right now for its story progress. Carries over to full game.
The Garden Master, Crimson Grindel.
And I played this already, the demo that is. Voice acting is pretty good, like you see here. Characters look pretty good, decent. It's anime, if you're into the anime aesthetic, JRPG stuff. But I know not everybody's into anime or anime games, so, or even JRPGs for that matter. But the moves you can do in this game are pretty cool. I'll actually go more in detail about it in a video where I do a gameplay impressions video. But they give you a lot to do in combat. You got these like really cool supers and ultimates that you can just like pop off consistently. So it's pretty cool. I'm not an anime fan and no judge at all, but I find cliche, or in better word, the norm, Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. Yeah, Nothing wrong with that. Love playing Shadow Hearts on PS2. Never heard of that one. They need to bring those back again. A fourth one would be amazing. I have never heard of Shadow Hearts. I'm guessing it's an RPG. PS2 had a lot of RPGs though, like a lot of good games. Nice. Okay. Let's check out. I'm just gonna give you guys a better idea of Arkfield real quick. Or Arknights, Enfield, sorry. I said it wrong. Yeah, PS2, PSP, and Vita. Yeah, true. That was a year ago. No, let's see if there's a recent. Gameplay preview. Yeah, let's check this out.
In recent years, the one in the sarcophagus has gradually faded from people's memory, along with those legends. I was hoping that before your memory recovers, you would learn about this world through experience rather than my faint words.
Really cool looking. Visually impressive. We haven't played it yet, so I don't know how the actual gameplay is. I didn't get into the beta game like that. That was like a year ago. And like I said, I don't know if it's like a gacha game, but it does have some like satisfactory type of elements to it. But also RPG combat. Oh my goodness. I will be doing like a before you play video, so stay tuned for that because I have some more information about the game roughly like a week before it drops. Different characters we can use in here to look pretty cool. Not entirely sure what the story is about. But this might be a game that gets me into like the whole like factory building aspect type of stuff. I'm not normally big into like survival crafting or factory type games, but heck, this might do it for me. We'll see. Pretty cool, right? I think it's gonna be a good game. I at least hope it does.
See if they've grown and transformed.
Oh, there was already a second beta test they did. So this is far from a while ago anyway, as far as the trailer. What kind of robot is that?
Sorry, Tata. I didn't mean to upset you.
Okay.
Let me respawn in Rome, please. Yes.
And the second one continued after the first. The third one was new characters with a different story, but still in the same world as the first two. Gotcha. Or when it becomes the main villain, right? Probably. Okay, and so we took a look at these trailers so far. There's definitely more RPGs I'm looking forward to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Should be more. I'm trying to think. Oh, how can I forget about this one? Dude, Phantom Blade Zero. Gotta add that to the list, right? Phantom Blade Zero. And that's, as it stands right now, I'm trying to think. Hold on, before I look at this. Out of this list, what could potentially be my game of the year for 2026? I feel like it's going to be a toss-up between Neo 3 and Phantom Blade Zero as of right now. This could easily change. And this is just RPGs. Like, this isn't even other games that are even supposed to come out, right? Onimusha Way of the Sword. Because apparently this is an RPG, action RPG. We'll be checking that out too. Like this. We're not going to watch all of this. We'll watch like the first like minute or two, but the way this is being set up though, Phantom Blade Zero that is, like the hack and slash martial arts combat, so fluid, different stuff you can do. It's trying to do stuff that video games haven't done before with its combat. And I'm guessing the main character was that baby.
At least not anymore, but you.
I knew it. You'd never break so easily.
Mm-hmm.
But why did you come back?
The Order's blades are coming. They failed once, but they won't fail again.
The amount of variety of weapons you can use in this game too, and the devs themselves wanted combat to feel like a dance of sorts, like you and enemy are dancing or enemies, which is why it looks the way it does. Oh wow. I hope this runs good on PC. I really do. Because I want to get this on PC. I don't want to get it on PS5. It is going to be, I think, an exclusive on PS5 for like 6 months, but I'd rather play this on PC. We still don't know the PC specs yet. Like, required by this game. Oh my. So as you can see, like fantasy or dark fantasy stuff, wuxia combat, and some cool mythology being played around with.
Phantom is moving.
Said a minute or two, we ended up watching a lot of it.
From where none expect.
Wow.
Blade is breath. We channel it into steel, turning any blade into a divine weapon.
Yeah, makes sense. For what they're going for, this is looking very epic. Hype is very exciting. He uses a water gun. It looks like you can do like a drunken style too, which is going to be nuts to try and even do. I want to try that drunken style, what it looks like. And a big bonk weapon. This is a game I wasn't sure if it was going to ever come out. And it's coming out later this year. Sweet. Should be good. Should be good. Let's see what you say here. Almost like Halo. Wait, what? I've been hearing nothing but good things about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Same. That's on my wish list as well. That and I think 3 Remastered. Yep, this game looking interesting. Drunken style fighting looks so sick in Tekken in Jackie Chan's original movie. Yeah, I will agree with that. Let's see, Onimusha. So this is the new upcoming Onimusha Way of the Sword game, which has interesting and fun-looking combat in its own right.
Hello there, fallen samurai.
To
something like this was right under the city.
I personally was hoping this was Capcom Souls-like, but it's not.
Righteous! And after everything you and your awful kind put him through, too. Were you feeling left out?
Oh my, ew.
Show you something to cheer you up.
Oh, that's not good. Enemies that once you like think you killed them or defeat them, they just multiply or split into two. Like, oh man. But you get a cool little bit of variety of weapons to use. I do like the enemy and boss designs here. And this is like a new entry in the series. Like this isn't tied back to or relate to, at least not in a major direct way, to the previous Onimusha games, I think, from what the devs said. So this could be maybe the new start of a new story, like a new trilogy or something like that. Who knows? I hope it does well though. We still don't have a release date for it yet. So my guess is summertime, because what? They got Resident Evil Requiem in February, Monster Hunter Stories 3 in March, Pragmata in April. So this has to come out in summertime. September at the latest, I would say. We'll see though. Like you won't know the next move. Oh, with the drunken style, yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's see, is there any other RPGs that are coming out this year that I am interested in? I want to talk about. There is Solasta 2, but that's early access, so, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get that right away, to be honest. Oh, wait. Okay, there's what, one, maybe. Yeah. Oh, wait. So let me add a few more on this list. I'm looking up right now, just in case. But do you think the previous games featured including this is a Souls-like? For me, it isn't, but a lot would say it is. What, for Onimusha or a different game? I'm gonna add in here Control Resonant. Apparently that's an action RPG coming out this year. Mortal Shell 2. Oh my god, I couldn't believe I forgot about this. Blood of the Dawnwalker. And Valor Mortis. I think that's it for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Both, yeah, action RPG. Onimusha was never, in my opinion, an RPG. It was never Souls-like. Onimusha is essentially Samurai Resident Evil. Because if you play the older Onimusha games like Onimusha Warlords, Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny, and Onimusha 3, they play like Resident Evil games in many ways. So, I'm trying to remember the exact story or details because I could have sworn either Onimusha or Devil May Cry was originally something else. Like I think Onimusha originally was supposed to be Devil May Cry or something like that, or vice versa, and then it became its own thing, basically. But yeah, Onimusha plays very much like a Resident Evil game, at least the older ones. This new one coming out apparently is action RPG, or at least from what the Steam tags include in it. So we'll see how RPG it is. Hack and slash maybe or whatever. Yeah, I mean there's RPGs that are hack and slash, of course. For sure. But if there's any RPGs or games you guys are looking forward to this year, please let me know. Let me know. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 to check out real quick and kind of like talk about it more. So Control Resonant. Let's look at that one. What the heck? Get out of here. So from what was announced at, this is shown off at the Game Awards, right? And from what I understand, we're playing as the brother character from the first game. Which is why I guess it's like showing him in the air, but also like more melee focused when it comes to his combat. Yeah, coming this year. Wait, is this just the same one? Hold on.
Do you feel it? Pattern.
But you explore a warped Manhattan on the brink of paranatural annihilation in a thrilling action adventure RPG. So yeah, apparently an RPG. I don't remember the first game being RPG. I thought it was like more like action horror. Let me double check. Action, female protagonist, supernatural, story rich. Yeah, third person action adventure that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Whereas they're going a different direction with the sequel, where they're making action RPG. Interesting. Okay, but still supernatural. All right. All right. Oh, is Mortal Shell 2 not on here? Jeez. What was the other one? Blood of Dawnwalker. Actually, this is probably one that might be my game of the year as well, contender. Blood of the Dawnwalker. Oh, this is their latest. Wait a minute. No, maybe not. Oh, this is the cinematic trailer. So this involves vampires. You play as a character who can basically... The main character is Cohen, and he's trying to save his sister here who has his arms. And essentially, Dawnwalker is their term for Daywalker from Blade. So during the daytime, like you are a human or, you know, turn vampiric. At nighttime, you can use vampire powers. But
there's only one way to stamp.
There's been like a plague or something going on, and his sister gets it, and he's trying to heal her, get her help, like that. And these people are like, no, we're just going to kill her like the rest, basically. So, and these vampires come in and save him and his sister. But I think the story is like they take her hostage or something like that, and he's got to rescue her from the vampires. So it's going to be interesting to see what choices you can make in this, like moral choices, limits, things like that, what kind of builds you can do, spells, weapons, things like that you can use. So I'm looking forward to it. And they recently had a new trailer giving an update as far as like it's releasing this year, basically, that they're committing to releasing this year. So it's from Rebel Wolves, but it's being published by Bandai Namco. Rebel Wolves is made up of former Witcher 3 devs, a good amount of them. So we'll see how it goes. Valor Mortis, a first-person Souls-like, which I played the demo, or the demo was like an alpha test, something like that. And what's kind of crazy to me, this is from the creators of Ghost Runner, right? But I think they've made a very well, like so far, obviously needs more polish and, you know, work on the game. But from the like play test I played, they have something. It's a good foundation. And I like what they're going for. It's like a little bit of BioShock, Souls elements, Souls-like elements. And it's set in this like, oof. You can see here, it's sort of like during like Napoleon's time. So this guy like broke that bottle and now it's turning monstrous. You. But the combat, once you get used to it and figure things out, is really good. There's like parries you can do, block, deflect, stuff like that. You can find stuff in the world. That's why I said it looks like it comes off a bit BioShock-ish, because you can do a flame hand in your left hand if you want. You use like pistols, which is helpful. Bosses have weak points on them. This is the boss in the playtest I fought. So very cool stuff there, very promising, and hopefully comes out this year. Won't get delayed. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Resident Evil 4, Souls, BioShock, and 1. Kinda, yeah. Kinda. And now we have Mortal Shell 2. This got announced last year, I think. I actually had the first game. I'm still going to go through. I played the first game, but didn't beat it. So I'm going to have to go back to that and play that before this comes out. Oh, I forgot about this. I totally forgot about that. I might have to cut that part out of the edited version. I think that's copyright music, but yeah. They're trying to improve this, though. This looks really cool. I'm not entirely sure what the gameplay details are, but we see new creatures, enemies, new, obviously, finisher and combat animations. Like, this definitely looks like a much more polished version of the first game, an updated version of the first game. So hopefully the devs can do what they want to do in the first game in this game and expand upon it. You get some like guns here apparently too. Different like, well, ranged weapons, not all guns. Oh my, a big snail monster. I didn't remember that being in the trailer before, but definitely grotesque, scary, intimidating enemies and bosses here. I like what they're doing with this from just in a visual design and character design. And you guys know me, I like my Souls-likes, so action RPG Souls-likes up my alley. 2026 though, we'll see if it happens and drops this year. It might be delayed. I don't know. GTA 6 is coming out, but yeah. That is my list of the top anticipated RPGs of 2026 for me, at least. obviously you guys bring up something different. This is even including like other games like action adventure or even fighting games or other stuff. This is just RPGs because I mostly do RPGs as content here. But I'm excited for it. And all these games look promising. I don't know if all of them will come out this year. I got a feeling that maybe one to maybe a few might get delayed because of GTA 6. And it depends on where, you know, other games land this year in terms of release dates. And who knows? Like Mortal Shell 2 might get delayed, for example. The Mortis might get delayed. But we will see. We will see. Make sure you give your thoughts as well too in the comments below what your anticipated RPGs of 2026 are. Love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, guys. So, yeah, there's that. And then I got a few more things I want to talk about before I wrap up. Let's go ahead and talk Pragmata demo impressions first. All right, so I want to talk about my gameplay impressions from Pragmata here. Let's see. I'll probably just cover my face here. Hold on. All right, so the combat itself, initially, like, was thinking, okay, maybe it's not gonna be as good as, you know, some of the previews have made it out to be, but it ends up being really good. Like, you start off here trying to figure it out. You have her hack the robots, right? You gotta reach a certain point of weakness in here to get to the green, and before you can actually do damage to them. So it ends up being very fun, very well implemented, I would say. And that's how the demo starts off in here, and you learn about Luna filament and some other materials. And as you progress, you defeat these enemies. You're gonna be exploring here, restoring power. It's very linear though. It's not like open world or open zone by any means. You got, you know, vertical places. You'll be going up vertically, horizontally, like exploring, going up through these lifts, I guess you can say, in a sense, but also using your thrusters to help you out. Puzzle solving a bit here in this game. Taking care of certain enemies like this one before you can progress or move on. And there are these like healing stations, which I'll show in a bit here. I think I was looking around at the time, just I'm trying to get this box because this boxes have materials you can get as well. And it ran really well overall for the most part. I was played this on PC, and for a game, you know, Capcom was doing the whole, you gotta have Windows 11 for their games to work on PC. Well, the demo worked just fine for me, and I'm still on Windows 10, which leads me to believe that. All right, take care, GM. No problem. This leads me to believe that these Capcom games should still run even on Windows 10, or maybe there'll be a mod that'll help out for it. Because my thing is, if the demo, you know, was supposed to require Windows 11 just like the full game, then why was I still able to play it on Windows 10? You know, it's kind of weird to me, but I was able to play it just fine. So through demo, you got to unlock this area, you go figure out these puzzles, and essentially get to the next room over there. I'm trying to find the you get these decode nodes that essentially do extra damage for temporarily. So as long as you get them, as while you're hacking, leading to the green, you see the yellow icon there where you can do extra damage to this one. You get a shotgun too, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I was trying to show the like healing station thing that you go to and use. I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait, is this it? No. There's a new weapon you get, Stasis Net. Essentially helps with like crowd control, basically. So enemies here, I ran through. And I was switching between the pistol and the shotgun because I was like using pistol for regular enemies and I was using shotgun for the bigger enemy because it made sense to do so. They have a higher health pool, things like that. There is some like hologram data stuff you can read. I didn't read it while playing the demo just because I want to save it for the full game as far as like understanding the lore. The demo would freeze up on me occasionally. So that was an issue there. Hopefully they polish up before the full release. Because the demo should not be freezing up like that. Trying to find it. There was a... Oh, here it is. Here it is. So this is like that station you use essentially like kind of recover your health. I think, well, I don't know about ammo, but you essentially can save here. It's a save point. So, and replenish health, things like that. It might also possibly act as like a bonfire in a sense from Souls-likes, possibly in terms of like where you can upgrade your gear and stuff. So they didn't obviously let me do that in a demo, but full game more than likely. This elevator, we went up and defeated enemies there. And then we had this boss fight. And this is a fun boss fight overall. I was able to use the nodes like I wanted to and dodge appropriately. And this boss ended up having like 2 phases, I think. So I had to I messed up on a node there and was trying to figure out like what to do. And the attacks, you know, once you get used to them and see where they're going, you, most of the part, just easily able to dodge them, avoid them. The boss wasn't like that aggressive. Then I guess it's a demo, so maybe they toned it down. It could be adjusted in a full game, and they're probably going to be harder boss fights as you progress. But for the demo itself, though, gameplay was solid, very fun, more fun than I thought. And the boss fight was a lot of fun here. The whole hacking system, where before you do damage, you think would be maybe annoying, frustrating. At least to me, it wasn't. It might be for some people who are not into that type of play style or mechanic. But I think it worked really well with what they're trying to go for. Capcom's trying to experiment with this game, do something different, do something new. And hopefully this will be a game that a lot of people do enjoy and like, because heck, it surprised me in a good way to where I want to play more. Like I left being done with this and want to play more of it. So I'm looking forward to this game when it does come out, I think in April. And let's get to the part where I defeated. Yeah, here it's almost destroyed. I think there's like a finish move you can do, or they have you do once you essentially delete its life. Oh no, there wasn't. Okay, it was before. I think it was in between phases or something like that. No, wait, no. Never mind. Wait. I guess it's during the phase switch one between like first and second phase, because there was something you can do. You can climb up onto it and essentially can do like some type of finisher attack or next attack that progresses the boss fight. So pretty cool stuff there. And if you haven't checked out the demo yet, check it out. I think it's still available right now I believe on PC and consoles too, I hope. Don't remember if it's on consoles too, but I play it on PC. So after the boss fights, about free the end of the demo. So I had a good time with it. And hopefully you will look forward to this game too. I mean, Capcom is doing a lot this year, all the games they're putting out, and this seems like it's going to be a really good, solid game. All right. Let's see. Move back to here. Okay. All right, guys, I want to talk about my gameplay impressions experience with the Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond Horizon game. Now, this is my footage I have here. I'm going to actually skip a lot of the story stuff here because this is a story demo battle. I want to get to the gameplay stuff mainly. So let's skip ahead here, and you have your command battle, which is essentially like your turn-based type of combat here. If you played other turn-based games similar to this or even in this series, then this will be very familiar to you in that regard. Do regular attacks. You can do a SCLM chain, where basically if you're near a party member, like it shows, you essentially will attack together. Like, it's kind of almost similar to maybe a Persona 5 or Persona-ish. Persona 5 probably the best bet example or comparison. Basically, you will do like your normal attack, and then your party member will come in right behind you, do a follow-up attack. So it's like Persona 5's like follow-up attacks in a sense. Then this goes over the AT bonuses like HP heal, EP heal, basically get health, or the EP, I think it's like the magic gauge in a sense. CP up, increase character CP by 50, which is a separate thing. Almost similar to like magic, but it's a different gauge for other moves basically. Seraph up, critical, 0 arts, boost plus blitz. My gripe about this game though so far is like outside of combat, when you're just moving your characters around, there's no sprint. Like your characters move very slow for some reason. This guy's really cool though. He reminds me of Akuma a bit with his like martial art style. There's something I'll show you guys later on in this footage that'll he has essentially a super or ultimate. It's very Akuma like. So controls here, pretty simple, basic. So in the main menu here, you got your achievements, where you check achievements, obtain rewards, status, check status crafts, and crafts, check and enhance craft levels. Apparently crafts is like a combat mechanic or combat ability each character can do in the game. Tactics, just a party lineup or battle commands. If you want to go that route. In items, equipment, in orbment, set or change hollow core, quartz, or use recovery arts. So the orbment you can update or adjust. Probably gonna get that to later. Let me go further in here. This is also status and typical stuff you would expect from an RPG like this. I'm trying to see if it goes in like there's damage resistance, experience. Apparently to add in ADMG, which is ATS plus magic attack of equipment, and then sound values like dexterity, agility, movement. So a lot of stuff is probably gonna be like familiar to you because typical RPG stuff. I'm trying to think. Was there a... Hold on. So charge attack. Press right trigger to form charge attack. This is something you do outside of battle. Well, outside of turn base, basically. And then you can switch to command battle. So what the game was trying to show me was like, do this against like range attack enemies with these like bug type looking enemies. Because the charge attack will stun them, do some decent damage, and then you go into command battle and finish them off. Then you have a quick art, which you hold Y button, for example, and do a range attack. Once again, this is like when you're doing not the command turn-based combat. This is outside of it. So, example right here. And this uses, I think, the EP gauge. And you can run out of this, so keep that in mind. But it's suggested to use against like the earth-looking creature here, this like stone-looking creature. That's supposed to be like, I guess, really tanky. And this is a way to just defeat them without going in turn-based combat. So earlier I mentioned about the ornament menu. Quartz change, set quartz, holocrat. So quartz screen, waiting for it to move here. You can set quartz from the quartz tab. Basically, this helps like kind of help, I guess, what you're built for a character. It helps with, manifesting all sorts of shard skills, essentially, for this game. I'm not sure why they call it shard skills. I don't know the lore when it comes to Legend Heroes, but that's apparently a game mechanic thing. So each line has a different shard skill, and the overall attribute value for a line changes with the quartz that has been set. So when you reach a certain number of attribute points, new shard skills will manifest. So essentially, get more skills, more things you can do in combat. And I guess that kind of helps like build your character to be a certain way, where like DPS or tank, healer, etc. It's worth noting that quartz set into attribute locked slots and are worth double their points value apparently. So didn't fully explore that because it was just a demo and I only played like an hour and a half at least. Then you got the ZOC thing. Hold on, where is it? Yeah. Essentially slowing down time. So I hit the right stick to slow down time to do more damage. And it only lasts a certain amount of time. As you can see there at the bottom right, there's a bar and ends. So you can use that to do some extra damage, freeze enemies in time for a bit. I'm not sure if this is a mechanic in previous games at all, but it's in this one. And it's pretty cool to use. There's also an upgraded version or a different version using the command battle too later on, which I'll show you. There's a lot of lore. So then the game also has shard commands. You perform a shard command with the right stick. Consume boost gauges to use commands unique to hollow cores equipped by the party. So it allows you to either do like increase your attack for 4 turns, increase your magic for 4 turns, shield, which I guess defense, or rabbit sword, for example. So you get different options here, essentially. And I think I went with like attack or whatever to boost my attack. It depends on the battle and situation. All right, there's Deadly Strike by enemy. Basically, enemies with low HP tend to use Deadly Strikes more frequently. So party leaders attacked while their health is low. A command battle will begin, so force you into a command battle if you don't want to do it. So it's got to be careful and dodge appropriately. Trying to find the next mechanic it talks about. Accessories I equipped and things. Oh, EX chain. This is busted. Perform a special dual attack on stunned enemy with a party member. So this is pretty cool. Like you stun the enemy, you do that attack. It's like you just do a lot of damage. You also activate a sharp boost, S boost with LB. So let's show this in action. Like that didn't seem like a lot of damage there, but this ends up making the fight go a lot quicker and easier, and all characters can use this EX chain combination. And that's not even all. There's still more you can do with these characters. But I want to let some of these just go because the animations for these supers, these arts, like, is so cool in how it's implemented. So that enemy's gone. And then EX chain on this one. And overkill. Yes, you can overkill enemies in this game. It's wild. You just do extra damage, basically. Where was it? SCLM charge, so dodging the last second when you're not doing command battle. Essentially, you can have your ally help you attack with a follow-up attack. So, show you an example here. And there you go. So, pretty cool. ZOC command battle. Now, this is where ZOC gets even more crazy. Pressing LB twice will activate ZOC. This is different from the non-command battle version. Essentially allows your character to attack twice. So they take 2 turns instead of just 1 turn, which is pretty cool. You get more damage in that way. Trying to see what the next mechanic here is. So you get these S supers. Hold on, I'm trying to get to it. S-Craft. So S-Craft, press right trigger and direct any directional button to trigger an S-Break. This immediately activate an S-Craft regardless of turn order. And these are essentially other supers or ultimate, I guess you can say, that each character can do. So let's show it off here. And this is where Howling Ruin, for example, is going to look very Akuma-like. I'm going to show off Vandalized Raid X first here. Which is very awesome in its own right. Hand-to-hand combat stuff here, combined with the sword. Characters just flipping around. So pretty cool right there. Boost gauge extension, triggering S-Craft grants additional boost gauge as well too. More boost gauge you get, basically just more benefits. I believe I'll do Howling Ruin right here. So this is very similar to me to what Akuma does with this, die 1000 deaths, but obviously this guy is a hero, so he's not going to like say something like that or something like that, but it's very similar in terms of the, symbols used, things like that. And it does a lot of damage. And then Ignis Rampage. She goes off with her gun. And then just jumps right in and there's like a flame explosion. Pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. And that's mostly it as far as the mechanics introduce you to. Pretty much, there's some stuff they introduce you to, and it's like, by the way, it's like a training thing you do in a prologue, and they introduce you to more stuff here when you go against these other characters that are essentially good guys. It's just a test, it's practice. You do got to win. This is a defensive S-Craft ultimate, which essentially adds like defensive buffs to the party, which is pretty cool. There's like an enemy like guard or something like that, or enemy break thing that happens during this fight too, though. There's Blitz, which is actually when it appears as an AT bonus. So with a Blitz chain, extra party member can join in to attack targets with an additional hit, and it can be activated by normal attack. So pretty cool. This is the, what was it? Where is that? Anti-shark commands, as well as something else too, apparently, that happens in the game, is overwrite the parties. Let me go back to it. I had to worry about this in this. So this is the only fight I had to worry about him, but it was a tutorial fight, so it makes sense why they brought in here. And enemy S-break as well. It's not letting me. There we go. Darn it, I meant to go back. Wait, is it not going to explain it? Hold on. Okay, there we go. Certain enemies have the ability to perform S-breaks during battle, to be prepared for unexpected damage, and be sure to make good use of the DOC and S commands to counter. So basically, it gives you this debuff where you take more damage from the enemies. And then this, with the anti-shark commands, these override the party's shark commands, so be careful. You can override theirs in return, but doing so will consume additional boost gauge. So add some strategy to the turn-based combat, which is nice. And some anime type super moves here. Everybody got, it's pretty cool. I failed the first time and then I got on the second try, but essentially that's what I played, and that's my demo experience. Overall, very good. And like I said, never really played really in these games before. I own a lot of them, just never like fully dived in yet. And so some of these mechanics might be something you already know about from previous games, and some of this is probably new. I don't know which one. I don't know the lore, but this might be a good game to jump into right away without knowing too much about the lore. Might not have to worry about it. And then this might encourage you to check out the previous Legend Hero games in the JRPG series. So I had a fun time overall. It's a lot of story heavy stuff, dialogue though too. Like I said, the other gripe I have is this, the character walking speed. There's just no sprint button or nothing like that. It's just weird why they didn't put that in. I don't know why they didn't do that, but it is what it is. So if that doesn't bother you too much, then you'll be fine. I think the combat's really good. The animations, the supers, and all different, like, you know, combat stuff you can do. It's kind of a lot, but once you get used to it, it becomes fine and probably second nature. I mean, how many RPGs, you know, that have come out over the years that have had what we deemed initially as like complex game mechanics and combat, and then once we got used to it, it became second nature or natural. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it whenever I can get to it, and at your wish list if you want, and check out the demo for yourself. Why not? Check it out for yourself. See what you think. It's available right now. At least on PC. I think it's also available on console too, or at least PS5. Because I don't think these games are on Xbox. They might be on Switch. I don't know. Xbox doesn't seem to really do a lot of like these type of games. I'll just say that. Like these certain JRPGs. Or at least have demos for them. So yeah, Xbox is a weird spot anyway. But nonetheless, had a good time with this, and I think it's going to shape up to be really good from visuals, music, voice acting, and just overall combat. I think the combat for me is what does it. Like, gameplay is usually always number one for me, and so the gameplay here is what's doing it for me mostly. But at the same time, that's not to say that the writing and what the characters are saying and doing is bad. I just don't know fully what the heck is going on. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below if you enjoyed this, and when it comes to my gameplay impressions, and I'll see you in the next one. Yo, Phoenix, you caught me while just talking games and reviewing some stuff here. Trying to make it easier myself by doing these gameplay impressions, live on stream, recording them, things like that. How was your day, man? How was your freaking day? Did you have any, I know your time is limited with everything that you got going on, but did you have any like new games in 2025 that came out in 2025 that you played and beat that you really enjoyed? Like, I know there was Hollow Knight Silksong, there was Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, Death Stranding 2, well, Clair Obscur, oh shoot, I'm trying to think what else, Doom Dark Ages. Yeah, I figured you were working as usual. But yeah, I wasn't sure there's any games you played in 2025 that came out in 2025 that you played and beat or played mostly. Okay. That's true. You did get into Where Winds Meet, which is good. Because that's free to play, and then, it came on PC, came on PS5. You're halfway through Silksong. I didn't know you picked it up. Sweet, sweet. Are you going to, so I beat Silksong, right? But I just beat the Act 2, got that initial ending. I do not want to go back to it for a third act and get the true ending. The game frustrates me too much from a like navigating the environment and dealing with regular enemy standpoint. You feel like the first game was harder? Really? I'm the opposite. I feel like Silksong is harder than the first game. But mind you, I didn't do everything in the first game either. Like, I essentially played the first game and beat the first game like prior to Silksong coming out, like literally like weeks before or within around the time Silksong came out. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I felt like, first game was easier. But what my favorite thing, besides the music, when it comes to Silksong, is the boss fights. I think the boss fights are really, really amazing and well done. I already did a video on it, but I'll show you the list. Or let me show you my list. So this is just RPGs, right? Since I mostly focus on RPGs anyway, these are all the RPGs I'm looking forward to for this year. Obviously, there's more than that's on this list, but this is what I have genuine interest, or at least strong enough interest in. There's a few I think that might be delayed, and that's because of GTA 6. And the few that might be delayed, I think, is maybe Mortal Shell 2, because we haven't really got any new updates from this. I think Mortal Shell 2 might get delayed out of this year. There's a possibility Control Resident could be too. And Valor Mortis. I don't know if these don't have release dates. This doesn't either, but I think this is definitely coming out this year. Same with this one. Family Zero, we got a release date. Relic First Guardians come out in May. Comes the Desert come out in March. This is February. These are free to play. In case you didn't know, these are free to play. And they're coming out later this month if you want to check them out. Really? You dislike Neo that strongly, huh? You never raged at a game more? Wow. I don't know about me, but yeah, I can understand. I can definitely understand, because Neo 1 and 2, both those games play differently within just between them two, right? But as a Souls-like game, Neo 1 and Neo 2 are definitely some frustrating Souls-likes to play. In this game I was just talking about, there's a demo. So Code Vein 2 is coming up. I didn't beat Code Vein 1. I played some of Code Vein 1. Just never beat it. I own it on PS4. We'll most likely get this, and not most likely I will, but hoping this is really good. Hoping Code Vein 2 is really good. That's what I'm looking forward to for 2026. When it comes to non-RPGs, though, I mean, there's Pragmata from Capcom. There's Invincible Versus, the fighting game. That looks really freaking fun. Let me see. Go to our wish list. So there's My Hero Academia All Justice, but that's going to wait. Not going to get that right away. High Life 2, only because it's a silly game, but that's going to wait. Reanimal, that's going to wait. 6, Blades Agreed, that's going to wait for me as well, too. Tales of Berseria Remastered, that's going to wait because I own the original game. So it's like, I want to play through the original verse before I go through the remastered version. And I even did a video on this where it doesn't seem like it's that much of like an upgrade overall, feels like. So we'll see. Replace seems pretty cool. As of right now, looks like there's no really. I don't know. It's coming out in March. But that's gonna wait most likely for me. Salsa 2 is coming to early access in March. That'll probably wait. Because that's gonna be in early access maybe for like a year or two anyway. So. Oh, Mouse PI for Hire. This is because of you, I think. I saw a trailer for this, but I don't think I paid too much attention to it. But then I think you're the one who reminded me about this game because you're looking forward to this game. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, okay, this does look pretty fun. So this looks like it's coming out in March as well. I don't know what's going on with Gothic. I was going to say Gotham. Gothic 1 remake. I don't know what's going on with this game. I don't know. It's supposed to be Q1 of this year, but we haven't heard anything. Yeah, bro, Fallout meets Cuphead vibes. What, Mouse PI? Really? Oh, wait. Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right. Oh, 007 First Light. So for those that don't know, I'm actually not a huge, but like I'm kind of a big James Bond fan in regards like I've seen a lot of the movies. I haven't really watched or read any other media. I've seen a lot of movies. So I like 007. And I played some of the older games too. Like GoldenEye was my favorite back on N64 when it came to 007 games. I'm looking forward to this Lego Batman Legacy of Dark Knight game too, but that's probably gonna be a wait for a sale. Yeah. That's what I meant with stuff. Also, update. All right, guys, so I got a bit of an update I want to talk about. I want to make a video on here when it comes to new content coming to my YouTube channel. And that's also going to be related to my Patreon. So something I thought about doing for a while, or at least I should have started doing maybe I think long ago, but things happen for a reason. Basically, I want to get into adding extra content in the form of AMVs, anime music videos. I think I'm doing just 2 at most a month. And essentially taking like a video game that I really enjoy or have interest in or like whatever, and putting some music to it, right? It's mostly going to be video game or, maybe even some anime music, stuff like that. But anything that's copyright music, when I use for a video, since YouTube's going to flag that, I'm going to put that on Patreon. So I've updated my Patreon page, link in the description for that if you want to support that way. Basically, how that's going to work is I only have 3 tiers, the $3, $5, and $10. But the $10 one is going to be where for members there at the tier 3 $10 can request or vote on any like song to put with a video game for an AMV video I can do in the future if it's like requested or voted upon. I say request or vote for now just because, depends on how many people end up going to that tier in the long run, things like that. But yeah, something I've done before in the past on some level is I've edited videos for like other people like doing their like Twitch channel trailers or intros, things like that. And if you don't know what I mean by an AMV, I will show you an example right now. If I can find it, hold on.
up to rock, get up to burn. Stand up with pride that burns for your desire. Get up to rock, get up to burn. Stand up with pride that burns for your desire. One day I noticed that my life was broken. It was not me who was controlling this body. Oh, I want to know what's really real to me before we vanish like a wave. Get up to rock, get up to burn. Stand up with pride, I'll be the waste of maker. You must not hide it. Trust the truth, hold it high. Raise your fists, that's why it's made to start with. You haven't had it. Go. Don't be afraid to listen to your own heart. Big black sight, that's the heartbeat in you.
And that's an example of AMV. So that's like an intro to my stream I used to do before just going right into stream. Your AMVs are dope. AF. Thank you so much, Phoenix. Yeah. So I think I want to do that as like a monthly thing where I have 2 per month. And like I said, it'll be 2 per month, and it'll be the video game and a song I choose. The song, like I said, if it's copyrighted anyway, it'll just be exclusive to Patreon. And it'll be exclusive there. Patrons of any level, paid, I should say, any paid tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 patrons can watch those videos. Now, the only thing is tier 3, the $10 ones, can request or vote on, you know, future AMVs essentially that they want to see me do, as far as what it can be, roughly any song. Obviously, I don't want to like do anything that's got any, you know, certain words and language in it that shouldn't, you know, be in there, whatever, like anything racist or anything like that. Basically, I'm not trying to do anything like that. But the other thing too is the tier 3 $10 members will also get special shout outs at the end of these AMV videos. So that's more of an incentive to go that route. I don't have any incentives right now for the tier 1 and 2, which is $3 and $5 respectively, other than if you feel like my content is worth, you know, that much to support that way, up to you. So I welcome feedback as far as like if there's any incentives or things I can create for those 2 tiers. But right now it's the $10 one that's essentially the most rewarding. And like I'll do a behind the scenes type of video for each EMV I do that'll also be exclusive to Patreon for paid tier members. So kind of give you like a behind the scenes look as far as how I edit each of these EMVs. And then I'll be trying to do some promotion for them, like a little sneak peek type stuff on both TikTok and YouTube as far as YouTube shorts. So that'll be something to do there. And I think that'll help add to the overall value of my content, because this year I want to think of something to do extra for you guys. I know I mainly do like game news update videos, do let's plays, or do reviews sometimes. And I'll try to do like the occasional, like, you know, RPG guide video or tips video here and there when I can. But yeah, AMVs I think is going to be a nice addition as extra content to the channel, 2 a month. And if it gets to the point of like where I got a lot of requests, or like you guys vote on me doing an extra one you really want me to see, then that can be like a bonus 3rd one for the month, for example, if we get enough people at the tier 3 level on Patreon. So Patreon link in the description below if you want to go that route, check it out, support that way. I welcome feedback, you know, and other manners when it comes to this. So it'll be songs anywhere between like 1.5 minutes to like 5 minutes long type of thing. And I already got a few ideas here to kick things off with I want to do one for a Code Vein 2, and then I may do one for Clair Obscur Extras 33, or maybe Elden Ring was another one or something like that. But essentially it's my first 2 for this month. And then February I want to do one for Neo 3, and then Resident Evil Requiem. So something I'm kind of keep up with in terms of like a theme or sort of structure is like, if there's like a new game or 2 that I'm generally interested in, then I'm most likely doing AMV around that game. And that's part of like the launch of that game, or before it comes out or after it. So that's where I'm at with that, guys. And hopefully you do enjoy this new content that's coming to my channel, because I just like to entertain and help y'all and inform y'all when it comes to how I am as a content creator. And I like creating. I like being creative, and this is another way for me to be creative and share my passion and creativity with you guys. So let me know what you think in the comments below about this. Please share your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this, hit that like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. Cool. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about tonight, guys, and do. So we covered my top 25, sorry, not top 25, my top games for 2025, my most anticipated RPGs for 2026 this year. And I covered like 2 demo gameplay impressions and a new content update, as well as a sort of reaction and talk of the Code Vein 2 walkthrough trailer. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I thought it was going to end up being a 4-hour stream, but no, I think we'll probably wrap up here. Thank y'all very much. Also, how do you like to do just chatting stuff? I got the new animated just chatting stuff here, background. Hopefully y'all like that. But let me know what you think. Phoenix, I will probably DM you about some stuff too, man. I think I already did DM you about some stuff. Ooh, Valzy, if you're still here, I'll see the pictures you sent me in Discord. Thank you, because I did not know about this. Yeah, Shadow Hearts I never knew about as an RPG or JRPG. Wow. The first game looks familiar, though, to me. Now that I see the cover art for it, it looks very familiar. Very cool. All right, guys, let's wrap up here, and I'm about to raid out. Not ask, catch up and chat. Oh my goodness. Trying to think of what I'm gonna raid out to. All right, I got somebody. This person raids me consistently, and I forget to raid them back, or at least I don't forget when they stream, so they can't stream whenever. We're gonna raid Simply Nix. All right, let's see. Yep, there we go. All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow with some Pirate Yakuza Hawaii. Y'all have a good one.